What if your dog isn't just responding to your tone, but actually understands what you're saying? What if the parrot mimicking your words knows exactly when to use them? For years, we believed animals only reacted to sound cues or simple commands. But new discoveries are challenging that belief, and the implications are huge. If animals can truly grasp human language even partially, it means communication between species might be more real than we ever imagined. And if that's true, it changes everything about how we treat and understand them. Imagine living with creatures who can actually decode your words, not just react to your voice. The deeper you dig, the more unsettling and fascinating it becomes. Are we underestimating the intelligence of the animal kingdom? Or are they simply smarter at hiding what they know? The idea that animals might understand human language isn't just fantasy, it's rooted in science. Studies with primates, dogs, birds, and even dolphins have shown surprising cognitive abilities. Take Alex, the African gray parrot, who could count, identify colors, and even express frustration. Or Chaser, the border collie who learned over 1,000 words and could fetch items based on verbal cues alone. These aren't tricks, they're signs of comprehension. But here's where it gets intense. Some researchers believe these animals aren't just memorizing words, they're understanding context. That's a completely different level of communication. It blurs the line between instinct and intellect. Let's break it down. Understanding human language means more than obeying sit or stay. It means recognizing patterns, grasping grammar, and connecting sounds to meanings. Some apes have been taught to use sign language or lexigrams to form sentences. Coco the gorilla famously signed sad when her kitten died, revealing emotion and language working together. But skeptics argue, these animals are just conditioned to respond, truly understanding. The question is, can conditioning alone explain such depth of interaction? When an orangutan signs help, or a parrot says wanna go in the right moment, or are we witnessing mimicry, or something more profound? Dogs offer one of the clearest windows into animal-human language interaction. They've evolved alongside us for thousands of years, and may have adapted to understand our speech. Mr. Eye scans show that dogs process words and tone in different parts of their brains, just like humans. When we praise them, their reward centers light up only when both the word and tone are positive. This means they're not just hearing how we say things, they're understanding what we say. Now think about that for a second. That level of comprehension might be happening under our noses every day, and we're only just realizing it. Birds, particularly parrots and corvids, add even more fuel to this fire. They're vocal learners, which means they don't just mimic sounds, they learn them with purpose. In the wild, parrots develop distinct calls for individual flock members, essentially names. In captivity, some can use human words to ask for food, identify objects, and even tease people. One African gray parrot reportedly said, "Don't be a hero," right before its owner left the house and suffered a car accident. Coincidence? Maybe. But it begs the question, are they truly listening and thinking about what we say? Dolphins take this mystery to the ocean depths. These marine mammals use complex vocalizations, whistle names, and have even shown the ability to understand structured commands in experiments. Trainers at marine facilities have taught dolphins to respond to sequences like touch the ball with your tail or bring the hoop to the trainer. The dolphins not only follow the command, they understand when the order of the words changes. That's basic grammar comprehension. Imagine how different our interactions with them would be if we accepted that they aren't just obeying, their understanding. But what does it really mean to understand a language? Is it knowing every word? Or is it grasping meaning through context and repetition? Human children take years to master language, yet we often expect animals to prove instant fluency. That's a double standard. Some scientists suggest animals may understand language more like young toddlers, recognizing keywords, tone, and body language altogether. That would explain how your cat knows when you're mad, or why your dog disappears at the word vet. These aren't flukes, or moments of comprehension we've been trained to overlook. There's also the emotional side. Many animals don't just react, they respond emotionally. Horses can recognize human facial expressions and adjust their behavior based on our mood. Dogs comfort crying owners and show jealousy when attention is given elsewhere. Could this emotional sensitivity be part of their language understanding? After all, emotions are a universal form of communication. If your pet reacts to your sadness with comfort, they're not just reading your face, they're connecting your state with their actions. That's not reflex, that's relational intelligence. Even animals without vocal cords can listen in surprising ways. Take elephants. They can sense human voices through vibrations in the ground and distinguish between friendly and threatening tones. They even react differently depending on whether a man, woman, or child is speaking. Elephants living near dangerous poaching areas are more alert when they hear adult male voices. That's survival-level linguistic awareness. So, even without speech, animals can pick up on our words and use them to make decisions. The wild is listening closer than we think. Now here's where the tension builds. If animals can understand language, what responsibilities do we carry in how we speak around them? When you yell at your dog, belittle a parrot, or ignore a distressed pet, are you doing more damage than you realize? Language isn't neutral, it shapes behavior, emotions, and relationships. If animals comprehend our tone and intent, they're also vulnerable to psychological harm. This isn't just about science, it's about ethics. The weight of that realization is growing heavier. Scientists are still divided on the extent of animal language comprehension. Some argue that even the most compelling examples are just advanced training responses. But others point to emotional nuance, spontaneous use of words, and nonverbal communication as proof of deeper understanding. When a chimp signs apple without prompting, or a bird asks, "Where's mama?" When left alone, these are not rehearsed performances. They're signs of independent thought that should make us question everything we've assumed. Another twist. Some animals create new words. In studies, primates have combined known signs to describe unknown objects, like calling a swan a water bird. This is called generativity, a hallmark of language creativity. That's not mimicry, that's invention. Imagine if your dog came up with a new bark for a specific toy. That would suggest not only recognition, but the desire to label and share that recognition. It's the foundation of language, and it may already be happening in homes and labs around the world. Let's go deeper. Some animals seem to understand intent. It's different from reacting to a command, it means anticipating outcomes. Dolphins have been observed cooperating with humans in fish hunts, waiting for signals, and even correcting humans who made mistakes in training. If they know not just what you said, but why you said it then, we're no longer dealing with simple learning. We're dealing with mutual comprehension. And that idea could change how we work with animals across every industry. So why don't we hear about this more often? Partly because proving language comprehension in animals is hard. It requires years of training, perfect conditions, and a shared method of communication. And when animals do understand us, we often dismiss it as coincidence or anthropomorphism. But ignoring these signs could mean missing out on one of the most profound breakthroughs in cross-species communication. It's not about turning animals into humans. It's about realizing how close they already are. Here's something haunting. If animals understand us, do they also feel misunderstood? Imagine a dog who recognizes dozens of words but can't express itself. Or a bird who knows the phrase, "I love you," but doesn't hear it back. If they comprehend more than we think, then silence becomes a form of isolation. That's a burden we might be unknowingly placing on the creatures who trust us most. It's not just about teaching them, it's about learning to listen. Technology is now entering the conversation literally. Some startups are developing AI-powered devices that translate animal vocalizations into human language. Early versions exist for dogs and cats, analyzing tone and pitch to determine emotional state. While still basic, they signal a future where talking to animals might become a reality. But if that day comes, are we prepared for what they'll say? Will we like what we hear? Or will we regret not listening sooner? Language is power. It's how we build societies, express love, declare war, and form identity. If animals are tapping into even a fraction of that power, they deserve more respect than we've given. The question is no longer can animals understand us. It's how much have they already understood, and how much more are we failing to see? We're not just sharing space with them. We might be sharing thoughts, subtle and extraordinary. The implications stretch far beyond pets and lab animals. If wild creatures like wolves, elephants, or whales can interpret our words or signals, then conservation efforts take on a new dimension. These are not mindless beasts to protect. They're intelligent beings trying to coexist, possibly even communicate. What if saving them means learning to speak their language, or helping them speak ours? In the end, maybe the most important lesson is humility. We've spent centuries assuming superiority over the animal kingdom. But language is no longer a barrier we can confidently claim. It's becoming a bridge one we're only just learning to cross. Animals may not speak our words fluently, but that doesn't mean they don't hear us. It certainly doesn't mean they don't understand us. So the next time your dog tilts its head, or your cat stares as you speak, pause for a moment. Consider the possibility that they're not just reacting. They're absorbing, interpreting, and possibly understanding. Because if animals can understand human language, even a little, then they're not just companions. They're conversationalists. And the dialogue between us is only just beginning.